We on? Let me put my glasses on so I
Okay.
can look smart. So I can look smart here. So,
Okay, Jay.
so, um, welcome to the podcast. Change the narrative podcast. Before we get this started, I had death in the family, and so I'm dedicating this episode to Tiffany Woods Pippin and Lucretia Jones. Uh, Two really nice young ladies that left us too soon. So if you guys are drinking, please just take a shot to them. If not, you know, we're gonna get the business anyway. So love you girls.
Yes.
Cheers. So let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, Stacey, thanks for having me on your show. And let me just start by greeting you and all the audience and the viewers. Uh, Good evening. I know it's afternoon there. Good afternoon. Well, my name is Lumi Mokadi, and I'm in South Africa in the eastern province called Mpumalanga. Mpumalanga means the place where the sun rises. So it's on the eastern part of South Africa. Um, yeah. So as I said, my name is Lumi Mokadi. I'm originally from Botswana,
Hmm.
and it came to South Africa after the 1994 uh, democracy era. That's when they started redemarcating the country, and me and my family could come to South Africa after that.
Okay.
So yeah, so as I said, Lumi means uncle
Okay.
in my language, and Mokadi is my clan name. And as you know, we Africans, our surnames are actually our clan names. So
You say
Mokadi
clan?
is clan name, yes.
Okay.
So within the Botswana people, there's different clans,
Okay.
and so your surname actually identifies from which clan you're from.
All right. Gotcha.
And so Mokadi, it's our clan name. It means the guider, and our family crest is an elephant.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. All right. Well, listen, I have a question for you, man.
yeah.
First of all, I want to tell this. I want to tell the audience how we met. It was New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve. We was at this club called Bertrand Cafe. What's that?
Bertrand Jazz Lounge.
Bertrand Jazz Lounge, and it was a
Yes,
bunch of
yes, yes.
Americans, a bunch of Africans,
Yeah.
and this guy here walked up to me out of everybody in the whole place and said, "Yo, man, America's racism is top notch." Why did you walk up to me and tell me that?
Oh, I remember very clearly, Jay, when I said that.
Was we
And
drinking?
of course we were drinking, but I mean, I've been always wanting to ask someone from America about the racism in America, because we see it on the news, we see it on the media. There's a whole Black Lives Matter movement that's centered
Uh,
around this whole racism thing. But when I compare it to what we in South Africa, or even in other parts of Africa as well, compared to what America is going through uh, on a frequent basis, you know, I was like, me and my wife, we watch this and we were like, yo,
uh,
these people are really having it hard. I mean, the white people, they are really hardcore racist. I mean, even the systematic racism there seems to be quite of a high quality than
okay, okay.
than
You're
than
right.
any than
You're right.
anywhere else.
You're right. You're right. We're gonna get back to that later, though. I just wanted
Okay.
to let everybody know how we met and how all the dialogue started. I was the
Yeah.
one that he reached out to. out of everybody else. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? I thought he was drunk. I mean, he probably was, but we was drunk, and
Yeah,
one thing led to another, and now we're at where we're at now. So
yeah, and
listen,
here we are. Yeah.
we talk on a regular basis,
Yes.
and tell me a little bit about your parents, and then after that, about the other stuff you said about your dad.
Okay. Okay, fine. Well, as I said, that we were originally in Botswana, and when the whole 1994 democracy came through, then the South Africa was restructured geographically. So it was redemarcated from how it was back then. So the Buputa Tswana region ended up until just outside Pretoria. So it had to be redemarcated back there to the west. So my father was he's actually an electronic engineer, and was also a person that was involved in music as well. So he played the instrument, and so in those times, the times when he grew up in, that was at the peak of the apartheid. And at that time, remember, the apartheid government, uh, they saw every black guy the same, and whether you're a politician or a normal guy on the street, they saw you the same. So if you were a guy that had the ability to bring people together, um, these are your activists, your politicians, also your musicians as well. So it was very threatening for the government to see black people coming together, even to share music, you know.
Okay.
So it was very threatening. So the people that actually brought the people together, they were the ones that were taken out of the community and put in other parts of the community. So he had to be exiled and taken back to Botswana. And okay, also through his job, he also touched and landed in America here and there. So yeah, so he really, he wasn't a person that was very politically involved in politics, but because the government didn't couldn't set apart who's the politician and who's not, it also everyone, every black person the same. If you had the ability to bring people together, then you were taken out of the community.
So he was
So
exiled. He was exiled.
yes, 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 for a short while, and then he came back and yeah, continued with life.
What's considered a short while?
It was a couple of years, about 4 or 5 years, I think.
That's a short while.
I'm basing this on how other freedom fighters were, or how long other freedom fighters were exiled, like for 10 years, 13 years, 14 years, you know?
Ah, okay, okay.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
so comparatively, for him, it was, yeah,
That's
not
a
that
short
long.
while.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. So what happened with your dad when he got exiled? What did he do here in the States? And what is his passion?
Okay, well, no, his passion is actually electronics. So I think,
Electronics.
yeah, electronics, electronic engineering. So he works for a space agency now, where they work with satellites. You know, like your NASA.
The NASA here in Houston.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So he works for the space agency here in South Africa. So it's like the NASA version. Yeah,
So has he ever
our
been to the
NASA.
NASA here?
He has, yes. He has, yes. And I think that passion it was developed or rekindled when he was there in the USA. Though I think he was they put him in Chicago because that's where other freedom fighters were put as well. So I think the agreement that the South African government had with American government is that there were certain places where they take exiled South Africans too. So he didn't just stay anywhere in America. So
Right.
he stayed in Chicago, and but I think his love for electronics actually was rekindled from that trip or that exile trip. Because when he came back as a person who was so in love with electronics. and satellites and all that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about family structure at one time before, and you was telling me there's no such thing as a cousin.
No.
So so you telling me my everybody that's related to me, there's no cousins. It's only a brother and a sister and a mom and a
Yes.
dad and a mom and a dad.
Mom and a dad. Yes.
So all my
Right.
cousins and my cousins and my brothers are
And
sisters,
sisters. Yes.
and then
Yes.
all my uncles and aunts are my mom and dad.
Are your fathers and your mothers. Yes. Uh,
How does that
well,
work?
well, okay. Okay. I'll put it in this way. I'll give you a picture. So I have my mother and my father, right? And let's start with my mother. Besides grandfather and grandmother, and also remember, my grandfather's father is also my grandfather. Or my grandfather's brother is also my grandfather. Or my grandmother's sister is also my grandmother.
Ah,
So
okay.
there isn't a differentiating term between those two. So if my mother's sister is my mom as well. But if she's older than my mother, we call her mamholo, which means older mother.
Okay.
And if she's younger than my mother, we call him mani in my language, which is younger mother. Okay, and in isiZulu, if she's older than um, your your mother is umamkulu. It's just a direct translation. Younger than your mother, umamncane, which is younger mother. And your mother's brother is your uncle.
My mother's brother is my uncle.
Yes. So that's the only person we actually call uncle in
Okay. Okay.
in that structure. So
Okay.
from my father's side, my father's brother, if he's older than my father, then ke Ramuhulu, which means older father.
Older father.
Yeah.
I
And
got
if
you.
he's younger than my father, ke Rangwani, which is Obabumngani, is a younger father.
Okay.
And my father's sister is Rakadi. She's like the equivalent of uncle. She's the only person that we call aunt in the
So let me
family.
ask you this: is that how it is throughout the whole continent, or just you guys?
No, I think that's how it is on the whole continent, right? I mean, for example, you get Congolese people that move here to South Africa um, as a family, and you find that their cousin visits them and lives with them like a normal brother and sister. You know, they call each
Okay.
other brother and sister. It says so. So my aunt's son is my brother.
Your brother.
My aunt's yeah. So the
Okay.
term cousin it's something that's not originally in our culture, and but it's a slang that we've developed along the way, you know,
Okay.
as we became much more modernized. So the word cousin comes through, but actually in all sense cousin that really doesn't exist
It doesn't
in,
exist. Okay.
in
Okay.
our culture. Someone is either yeah.
Before we continue on to questions, we have some people that's in here in the chat. Khalees, what's up, man? How things going? We're gonna get together, Khalees. Sibo, that's how you pronounce that. How you doing, man? Um, Somebody named John Mooney gave us some weird faces. John, what's those weird faces for? I don't understand. Everybody, please like, subscribe, share. Khalees saying he'd be back in December. Khalees is a brother that I met. Well, actually, I haven't even met Khalees yet. I met Khalees online, and he's a YouTuber. He got a page also.
Okay.
I think it's Khalees Travels.
Okay.
Y'all,
Khalees travels.
I
Okay.
think it's Khalees Travels. Khalees, if I'm wrong, let me know, man, so I can. So, John Mooney is kind of trying to figure out how the cousin thing works, but we'll get back to that.
Oh,
But Khalees, is your page Khalees Travels? So yeah, me and Khalees gonna do a podcast probably Wednesday.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
Uh,
he's in
wh-
the
wh-
he's in the
where's
states.
Khalees based? Is he that side?
Yeah, he's in the states now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, John, he told me this comment. He told me about this here a few days ago, and it really like had me like, what the hell's going on? So, so it was kind of like, you know how you got your mom, your dad, and then you got your brothers
Yes.
and your sisters, and then you got
Yeah.
your mom, your dad's sisters and brothers, which we consider them aunts and uncles.
Yes. Yes.
They
Yes.
don't see aunts and uncles or cousins. Everybody's brothers and sisters. You
Yes.
know,
Everybody's brother and sister. Of
everybody,
course.
like how like we be in the streets and just random people, we'd be like, hey, what's going on, brother or sister or something like that. That's
Yeah.
just how we talk. That's what it is in real life with them, you know.
Mm.
So I hope that helped a little bit. If not, go just ask some more questions, John. So
Yeah. In it's in some parts of our country, as it's so deep that if you okay, there's people there's people that still practice this. I just want to give you an example of how deep um, this brother, sister, mother, father is, and in also some other cultures, they're still very extreme about it. And if, let's say, for example, I'm married to Alyssa, and if I die, then my brother can come and stay with Alyssa and have kids with Alyssa, and they'll still be considered like they are my kids because me and him share blood. We are brothers.
so he can
So
actually marry
there are
your wife,
some, yes,
your brother, marry your
my
wife
brother, yes,
if something was to
to
happen
marry
to
my
you.
wife. If something was to happen to me, he can step in because he's he's my brother and he's
Blood.
me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but as I say that there's still some parts of South Africa, in the outskirts rurals that are very extreme about it. But yeah, well, it's not anymore. But in those days, it was. In those days, it was practiced regularly. But now it's not practiced that much. That's
Okay.
how deep this whole uh, cousin is your brother and sister, not
Wow.
cousin.
Hey,
Yeah.
he just asked another question. I'm gonna let you get that one.
Okay.
Can you read it? Can you see it?
I can see that. Or what about your mother's sister? Is that not your? Okay, so your mother's sister. It depends. If she's older than your mother or your mother. If she's older than your mother, then we call her mamhulu or mamkulu, which is older mother. And if she's younger than your mother, we call her mani or mamnani, which is younger mother. So she's still mother, but you tied to it as to recognize that she's older than you, younger than your mother. But
Okay.
it's not aunt, it's mother. Although there's
John, did that
a
answer the
bit of a
question?
prefix here and there, but it's still mother.
John, did that answer the question? So, um, I think I think there's like an elephant in the room, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question. Us Black Americans think that you guys dislike us. Before we move, but when me and my wife was talking about moving there, a lot of people said, "Yo, they don't like you there. Why are you gonna go there? They
Mm,
don't want you. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get killed. You know, all kind of things was thrown at us to try to get us to change our mind. So
mm.
let's go ahead and let's talk about that and let me know what you think.
Okay. If I understand your question, it says that um, the America has a perception that Africans don't like Americans, and
Yes.
we dislike Americans for whatever reason. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
for
let
whatever reason.
me talk for whatever reason. I'll say this on behalf of South Africa, as far as I know it,
Okay.
and also as far as I know, to as far as I know, how Black people think of to how black people perceive the USA.
Okay.
I don't personally think that Africans hate or dislike African Americans. I think they dislike America.
Who?
So
Who just like America?
why I say that Africans, I don't think that we dislike African Americans. I think we dislike the America that also you seem to dislike as well as African Americans. That is the America that we dislike. Look, I'll be honest. There's also some comments that we also as Africans receive from our American brothers. Comments like Africa is underdeveloped, is a huge jungle there.
We gonna
So
get to that. We're gonna
so
get to that
so
later,
but
Lumi.
but yeah, but I mean those are very isolated solutions and liars. And secondly, look, if you look at the African pop culture, it's greatly affected by what's happening in the United States and in the African American communities, from hip hop, fashion, um, jazz, and just general pop culture and dialect and language as well. So
Gotcha.
I have no reason to believe that Africans genuinely dislike African Americans, but I think Africans dislike the America that seems to be bullying other countries, the America that seems to be interfering in other countries' affairs and stuff. So, and I think it's in some situations, it might be the same America that even African Americans dislike themselves. So yeah, so I think yeah, it's um,
Okay.
I don't personally think that black people or African people have this genuinely dislike African Americans. When it
Okay.
comes to America as a whole, it might be a different story.
Okay. So just to
Yeah.
go ahead and table this so everybody know. Granted, y'all, we just talking to one guy. So, but from what he's saying is they do not dislike us. They dislike America.
You know,
And that's understandable because some of us
I,
dislike America also.
look, I've never seen any African American this side get attacked just for being African American. Never.
You say get attacked?
Show me one person. Yeah, or get attacked or get attacked either on Twitter or physically or on social media whatsoever for being African American. I don't think I've ever seen such things trending. So I might be
Okay.
corrected. Maybe I'm not in tune with what's going on all the time, but I
Okay.
do not remember it being an issue that Africans make Americans feel like they're not welcomed every time when they come to Africa.
So you're saying Africa is safe for us to come there and travel and do business, be a part of the culture, shop,
Yeah, for sure.
and so
For
on and so
sure,
on.
for sure, for so and so on, for sure. I've
I
yeah,
mean,
as I said,
I agree. I believe that because I've been there twice already, so I definitely
yeah,
I feel
you
safe.
you 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 are witness. You can give accurate testimony as to
Hey,
how Africans actually welcome.
you remember when I spoke to you some time ago? I said, "Yo, why those guys be staring at me all the time?" And then you see the white people walk around, and they
Yeah,
just like they own it. Why?
yeah,
Tell them
yeah.
the answer. Tell them the answer you told me.
Because you're freakishly tall and big. Jay. Your body structure is unusual for a normal African or South African. So
Uh,
I think they can see that this guy is probably not from South Africa. He might be from somewhere.
but again, still
So I
though,
think
it's the
that's
same thing for the white folks, the European folks, wherever they come from. They walk around and they're not getting stared at.
yeah. Of course, they're not getting stared at because they look like any other normal white person that we see. if a normal
Okay.
white South African person. It's not. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, yo,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
John comments. Yeah, you can go ahead and read it out, please.
It says the American record company destroyed the positive hip hop rappers back in the day. So when Africans or anybody outside America come, they see a negative image. His first question was actually his first
Yeah.
statement was actually the American school system hasn't
Mm.
changed in over 75 years to continue to show the narrative images about Africa and other countries outside of America. I think everybody knows
That's
that
true.
part.
Mm.
Even John, I don't know how old you are, but I'm almost 50, and yeah, man, I mean, the narrative hasn't changed. I mean, you even heard
Mm.
Trump say,
Yeah.
a couple years ago, the shitholes. So the everything that we think we know, we don't know. It's come here and see for yourself, and I guarantee you'll have a different perception when you leave. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Lumi, what you going to say?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear what you say. Coming back to that hip hop, that American record companies actually killed positive
Hold on, so let me
hip hop
find it.
rappers
That's
back
it
in
right
the
there.
day.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah. So when Africans or anybody outside America come and they see negative images, does it mean that how or how the American government always sees rap as a negative thing to
What do
society?
you?
Or
I mean, think about this. Think about this. I'm assuming John is about my age. So back in our days, we had the Public Enemies, X Clan,
okay,
and on and
and
on. These, Public Enemy.
and
So we had
NWA, yeah,
positive. No, not NWA. We had positive
okay,
hip hop that actually,
okay,
gave good messages. And it
mm.
seems like it all just disappeared. Do we still have a little bit here and there? Yeah, but now it's like uh, the nonsense music is what sells. So now it's more so. Now it's more so. Just go out there and smoke weed and get high
Yeah,
and
and get
do
high
all these
and
drugs and
yeah,
make music.
yeah,
So the
yeah,
content has changed. I'm
okay,
assuming that's what John mean. The content has
okay,
changed.
okay. It makes
So
sense. It makes sense. Makes sense.
and I'm a
Yeah.
big I'm a big hip hop fan.
Oh, you're a hip hop fan?
Yes, big. Oh,
I'm more of a jazz fan.
my husband was in exile as well when he came to the country. He was caught and went to Robben Island. Where's
Oh,
Robben
that's
Island
not
at?
that. Robben Island it was where political prisoners were sent. It's outside. It's just south of Cape Town. It's an island just outside Cape Town. It's where Nelson Mandela served his sentence, and like Jacob Zuma and the group that was actually sentenced in the Rivonia trial, where Mandela was part of in the early 60s. They were sent to Robben Island. So it's an isolated island outside of Cape Town, and yeah.
So,
So I
so,
think,
so, are you telling me? I mean, I already know this. So, are you telling me that Nelson Mandela wasn't in prison in Johannesburg the whole 22 or 27 years, whatever it was, like
well,
most Americans think?
oh, okay. Well, technically, he was in prison for 27 years,
I mean,
right?
I'm talking about location though.
Yeah. But location is that he didn't spend the whole 27 years in Robben Island, in that prison. So the latest part of his sentence, he actually served in Cape Town. Um, in Cape Town, in a nice house, with a
Ooh,
yeah.
we,
It's
we,
call it like house arrest, sort of.
okay, we get
With
to
a
that
chef,
later.
yeah.
I
So
don't, I don't know.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I must say that Sibo, Sibo, when he said when she says that her husband was exiled and sent to when he came to the country, was caught and went to Robben Island. I think Robben Island were your activists, your serious activists and politicians were the ones that were sent to Robben Island. So if like act of treason, yeah, things like that. So I
Okay.
think Sibo's husband was very involved in the struggle and fight for freedom, and which and people like that we always should thank and for their input and effort into trying to make South Africa better for their children.
Got
Yeah.
you. Thank you to your husband.
Thanks, Sibo.
My
I saw
my
the other comment just now, just the latest one.
which,
Okay.
this one? Do you,
Wayne's World. Oh yeah. Okay. He says I was in Bertram that night with Stacy and met you.
yeah.
Great explanation about words brother and sister. Okay, my lady's from Botswana and uses the words brothers and sisters. So now it makes sense.
Oh,
This.
so Wayne didn't know. I thought Wayne had knew that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's get back. We got 5 people listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. So let's get back to a few more questions. So I know that you work in corporate South Africa.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tell me what's that like?
Okay, so I'm by profession I'm a metallurgist. Right? I'm a metallurgical engineer. So what we do is we process materials, we process minerals, and we also manufacture steel as well. But currently I specialize in data science and data analytics. So yeah, uh, so I mean, working in the corporate South Africa, I'll take it back from when democracy came through in South Africa, and remember part of the negotiations actually virtually was that black people will be able to vote and the white people can continue and keep the economy and actually whatever shit that you owned you can continue owning, you know. So it wasn't like other countries that went through that intense reformation and atonement where if you stole something in the Nazi era you gave it back after the reformation. So in this instance it wasn't like that. The white people in South Africa were allowed to keep the land even if it was ill-gotten and stolen. They were allowed to keep the top jobs, the companies, and all that. They were allowed. They were also allowed to continue with business like mining, and yeah, banks and all that. So
Okay.
nothing changed from their side. I'd say that white people here were more than lucky that nothing actually happened to them. So so now the government introduced something that's introduced like an affirmative action where every company had to have a certain quota of black people in management,
Yeah. Same
and
thing here.
which is still being applied today. But when when you start looking at it in corporate today, it's when you're a black guy and you are you are appointed in a management or senior management position, it's it's actually on a daily basis you get to reminded that you're here because of the quota. You're not here because of merit. Even though you meet all the minimum requirements for the job, they want a person with this qualification, with this experience, with
Yeah.
this personalities. You fit all of that. You get interviewed, they like you, but you get reminded that you're here because of this quota,
Because
right?
of yes. Yes.
Because of this quota that we need to fulfill, and you also need to be grateful. You also yeah, so you get that sense that actually these people ideally they really don't want black people here. They'd rather work with a purely white team. And
Yeah.
but anyway, we march on. And the
We here
other
now.
thing that
We here now.
we're here now. The other thing that they do is that Stace, when a person is so determined to when it's so determined to be a racist, right, but doesn't have a choice but to work with you because of legislature. They will always try to find ways, uh, to overcome that quota, and to cheat that quota, if I can put it that way. So
Mhm.
one of the things that I attack us with is they purposefully underpay black professionals as compared to their white counterparts.
Why do you think that?
I think it's because look, it's because of the workforce. So what they want is for a black guy to give in more hours and effort um, in order to be paid equivalently to what a white guy is getting. So for me to get the same kind of remuneration as a white guy, every month I'd have to put in extra hours on overtime or whatever,
Yeah.
or get paid those extra efforts. While
Right.
this guy just works normal 7 to 4, um, and they get recognized more quicker than us, and they get promoted after a year. This person graduates this year, and next year he's already promoted to an intermediate. In 2 years' time, he's already a senior. In 3 years' time, he's already in middle management.
Yeah.
And all.
Yeah.
While a black guy has to, you wait for like 10 years before you can even get to middle management,
I got you.
And so that's how they're trying to, that's how they break our spirits.
Okay.
So they require me to give 150% only to be considered as a 60,
Got
while
you.
while a white person gives 50 only to be considered as a 60.
I got
No,
you. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that they do. And the other thing that we have in corporate, in the corporate world, which is becoming quite famous now, is in the HR position. Remember, the HR is very important in the company, where
Hmm.
it's human resources. This is a person that actually has to care about the development of every of the employees, and whether we are using our resources, our human resources in the company quite effectively or not. And quite coincidentally, these positions are now given to primarily black people in a white corporate company.
So the token black person.
The token black person, correct, yes. And so what happens is the token black person is usually a person that not so long ago his career was not really going anywhere, so he was actually given a handout by uh, by the very same white corporate company. So so when this person gets to HR position, now he thinks that, this is where my bread is buttered, and I cannot betray uh, the people that actually, I cannot bite the hand that feeds me.
Yeah.
So this person is allowed to even bend policies, bend the policies, the very same policies that the company wrote and is working on, for the sake of pleasing the hand that feeds him, or the hand that
Got
actually has put him there. And I think they make it clear to them that look, we don't think that you're qualified to be here. We just want to put you here so that you can do some shit for us.
you. Right. Right.
Yeah.
You can
So
you can you can talk to your people, so we don't have to talk to your people.
yes. You can explain to them as to how,
Yeah.
if we want to get rid of someone, you shouldn't be in our way. Don't even bring this HR laws shit. We won't entertain it. If I say charge this guy and get rid of this guy, that's what we're gonna do.
That's his job.
That's his job.
Okay.
And
We
yeah,
got that here
and
too. We got that here too.
and also on paper, when a person looks at the company, on paper, he thinks the company is diverse by seeing that on senior management, I can see that there's a black guy on in a very important part of the company, which is human resource. Little do you know that it's it's like it's like it's like a strange guy offering you candy in a windowless van. You know?
I got you. Hey, John, where you from, man? Yeah, like I said, that same thing goes on here too, man. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
that
Is it the
same.
same? Is it the same that side as
It's
well?
the exact same. It says, I mean,
Mm,
I think there's a token, there's a black token probably in every company.
mm,
Because some people just don't want to deal with you, or they think they're above you. They
yeah.
think that not all, of course, might think that they're better than you for whatever reason, just because they're white
Yeah.
and you're black.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, we're here now. Deal with it. Gotta
And
deal with
also the other thing, I think the other reason why they would also tend to underpay uh, black professionals as compared to white professionals is the issue of segregation. You know, where we stay, you will find that your counterparts live in urban in some areas where an average black professional wouldn't afford to stay there. But this person in the same position as you I can afford to buy a house that costs three times as much as what you can afford
it. Right.
at that time. And and when you see the environment and the society that they live in, it's just white people, you know. So I think to some extent they also want to live by themselves, by um, on their own, by living in areas that are very expensive, and also making sure that black people can't um, afford to live in those
Right.
very same places.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I have a follow up question, something similar too. John, I'm in Houston. I have a follow up question to that.
Yes.
You have any? Do you have any white friends that you have to have these kind of conversations with because they don't understand, or they refuse to understand after you talk and talk and talk? What are
I,
those kind of conversations are like?
I do have white friends. I do have a couple of white friends, and from from probably primary school and high school as well, also university as well. I've met a couple of white friends whom I've made good friends with, and look, at first they don't see it. Okay, they don't see it. But what I firstly noticed is that when you speak to a white person about things that concern race, um, for them at that time, it's normal. So when you take them out of the normal that they used to and give them a different perspective, it took him a long time to actually start to get a gist of actually what I am going through. You know, we did the same degree and we started working together at the same company. We did internships at the same company at the same time. And there came a time when we spoke about how much we're getting, and he found out that he is getting more than me. No,
Was he
a
surprised?
consider he was surprised at the time. He was surprised. He was very surprised, and he asked that, "Look, we just graduated, both of us. You know, we basically doing the same thing. We're in the same position. How come the company offered me more than you?" And we approached the HR department, and we're like, why are we given different amounts? If we're in the same position with the same amount of experience, and the HR token tried to explain it, but there wasn't any reason whatsoever.
So y'all actually
And
went to HR.
yeah, we did.
Wow.
We did go to HR that, look, this guy is getting this much and I'm getting this much. Why is that? But I think any normal white guy would not do that for a black person. I don't think so at all. And but because me and him have known each other for quite a while, this is a guy that he's also shown some interest in my ethnicity, in African background, and it shows general interest in Black people. He can speak fluent Setswana, so yeah, I think for me and him we're cool. We're not like me and any other white person or a Black person, or those white people that say they have Black friends, but actually,
So he the same age as you.
he what?
He's the same age as you.
Yes, he is.
So that would mean
He's the
his
same age
parents.
as me.
So that means his parents is about 20 years older than him, probably. So how's your relationship with his parents?
Well, at first, I remember when I went to his house to visit. At first,
It's gonna be interesting.
oh, his parents were very surprised, and they were very at unease. They were trying to make sure that everything was perfect. No, did you eat? Please have this. Do you want something? They were not cool. They were not relaxed. I think they were acting differently from if he had brought a white friend over, a white
Okay.
person over to the house. They were asking questions. We don't know what he eats. Does he eat meat, or does he not eat meat, or does he eat veggies? Questions like that, very stupid questions. I was surprised when they even asked that. Do
You
I eat
said they were
veggies or
stupid
not?
questions.
Do I eat broccoli? I mean, come on. Then he told them, look, this is a normal person, guys. It's a normal person living basically on the next block to us. He's not staying on another planet. So he
Wow.
eats whatever we eat.
Wow. So, but y'all, so
so so
y'all, you and the parents cool now, though.
yeah, we cool. We cool. We cool. And I also have conversations with his father as well. That About what was happening then, in the apartheid regime, and how I understand it, because I got the understanding that even white people did not fully understand what was happening in the apartheid era, um, and this is because the system was benefiting them. So then if you're a person and the system benefits you, you don't care how they do things. You don't care how
Right.
much we spend on what, as long as it benefits you.
It's
So I got to
benefiting.
understand. He got to know that, oh shit, actually there's things that I didn't know what was happening and why these things were happening, and no one was even bothered to ask questions as to the most fundamental questions. Why do you think
Wow.
white people don't like black people?
Hmm.
Why? It's
Million
it's
dollar
it's,
question.
it's it's yeah, it's questions that they even didn't ask, or even today they don't ask.
Okay.
You know,
So Tanika Keith, she said, so they don't hide their prejudice at all there. You want to answer that one?
oh yes, yes, yes. Look, they they do hide it to a certain extent, right? To a certain extent, but I mean, if you keep probing at a closed door, it will open one day. So, so situations present themselves where you actually see that, oh, uh, this was a bit prejudiced. Um, but they do hide it to a certain extent. But I mean, I think as a black person, our prejudice senses are quite sharp.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can see prejudice bullshit when as soon as it comes walks through
As
the
soon as
door.
it
You
come in
can
your
see
face.
this is, yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Okay. Sibo got a question for you. Well, that's a statement. As a South African, I keep hearing this thing about Africans having a problem with African Americans. I think from what happened to us, we would be the last people to dislike anyone. Way to go, Sibo.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's touching on what I said before, that I
Yeah,
don't think that Africans dislike African Americans.
is America.
I think it's America that
America.
we kind
I
of
like
dislike.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned something about third world. Why do you think Americans and other places think Africa, South Africa, is a third world country?
Okay. Oh, okay. That's a very interesting question. Okay. Well, firstly, let's look at how countries were classified into first, second, and third world. Remember, your first world countries are usually your America, USA, your Europe, plus Australia. And then your second world countries are countries that participated in the Cold War. This is your East, your more of your Eastern European countries, like your Ukraine, Russia, Poland, and all that.
Lumi, you froze.
And classified
Lumi,
as
you
a third
froze. You
world
froze.
country.
Can you back up a little bit?
Oh, okay, okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was saying that how countries were classified into first, second, and third world countries is that based on you have your capitalist countries, which is USA, Europe, and Western Europe and Australia, and then you have your countries that have your that have a more communism type of approach, which is your Eastern Europe countries, those that participated mainly in the Cold War. Those were regarded as second world countries, and then everyone else was just regarded as a third world country. But then later on, they said that a third world country is actually, when you classify a country, whether it's first, second, or third, is you look at its economy, its growth, how quickly it's developing. You look at the middle class intake. You look at your poverty rate as well, and just by that definition, it already put all African countries as a third world country, as third
Yeah.
world countries. So regardless of how quick you were developing or how your poverty rate was, I think African countries have always stayed as third world countries. But on the other hand, I also think that the issue of ranking countries in first, second, and third classes is also a means to kill or undermining and diminishing our self love as Africans. So when you told you're a third class, and if I tell you, Stace, you're a third class and I'm a first class, the natural thing that happens is you want to be like me. Okay, you want to move from your third class, you want to move to A class. So now you start following me, you start mimicking what I do. You want to be like me. So I think also why we are always regarded as third class countries, regardless of how well we're doing, of how quickly we're developing, is just to keep us at bay, you know, just to keep us at bay so that we can follow European trends. We can follow the first world countries' trends, and whatever they're doing. If a product comes out from a first world country, we should want it because we want to be like the
Gotcha.
first world country. And it doesn't make sense. And if you look at the list of third world countries, there's not even a single white country that's on the third world country list. But if you look at the definition of third world countries, uh, a country like Mexico is there, and well, it shouldn't be there
It should be,
because
right?
and but if you look at a country like Ukraine, it's not there but should be there on the third world on the third world list, according to definition. But so I think somehow it's also reserved for non-white countries as well. So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
so
Well,
I've well, look, I mean, countries like Rwanda in Africa, which are showing huge growths, um, more than any other African country. Countries like Nigeria, which are flourishing as well, are still third world countries, but no one cares. No one cares whether you move out of the world country or not. When it comes to African countries. So I really, it also baffles me sometimes that why is other African countries and South Africa still regarded
that's third world.
um, as third world. I mean, European countries have they also have rurals. They also have parts of their countries where it's poor. The slums just outside Paris. If you look at Liverpool in England, it's a fairly dangerous place. There's poverty and all that. So,
well, I can definitely vouch. I can definitely vouch. South Africa is not third world. When we was there, when we got off the plane, the airport alone, how you pronounce it? Tambu?
or Tambo, yes.
The airport alone is beautiful. And when we caught our Uber to Santon, the whole scenery, we was just like in awe because because of what we was taught, and what the media told us. What Sally Struthers told us for all these damn years. Remember the little black boy with the flies flying around him, and a penny a day can.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's beautiful. The infrastructure is beautiful. Now granted, there's some areas that need some work. Yes, it is. But guess what?
Yes.
There's some areas in the United States that need some work too.
True.
You know what I mean? So you can't just pick one and not the other. We love it there. Yeah. We love it there. And if I have my way, I'll be there right now. I'll be there right now.
I remember you said the other time that look, if the media, what the media is showing us is telling us that Africa is underdeveloped, don't go there, whatever. But when you got on the plane, it was like 90% white people in the plane, and if it's so dangerous and not so developed as they say it is, so why are they there? Why are they coming?
That's a fact. When you fly there, and both times we flew there for the first time in May. The second time was in December. The plane was probably 80% white folks, maybe 95% African folks, and then the rest was us, just going to visit. And it was the same way. And it was the same way when we went in December. And like you just said, they was telling us all these years that it's dangerous and it's lions, zebras, tigers, bears, all this mess. If it was so dangerous, why y'all asses there? Yeah. Why you there? You know what I'm saying? If it was so dangerous, I'm not going somewhere that's dangerous. So why they there?
Yeah. So they were actually making it like as soon as you get off the plane, then you are met by a herd of zebras and a bunch of lions there, and just waiting for you.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say all of that. Hey, but listen, John just said something really good. John said, John, you won it today, brother. John just said, from the media to the classroom, they taught nothing but negative. And I don't think anybody can debate that. Nobody can debate that.
Look, that's true. I mean, absolutely true, absolutely spot on. And I think the classroom and the media, or that they give you what they think you should think about that country or that or that country. It's just like your heroes and your villains in the world. They want you to see this guy as a hero and this guy as a villain.
Yeah. Okay. So, we don't have too many questions, but salute you, Quail Trees by Chris. We have 8 people in the building. Can we get some likes, subscribe, shares, please? We're trying to take this really far. We're trying to. That's why the podcast is called Changing the Narrative. because of what we just discussed, the media, the classrooms, people that just don't know, the
Yeah.
misconception. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. And then don't get me wrong. Maybe 10 years ago, I might have thought the same thing. I remember I told my mom I was moving to South Africa. She said, "Why would you want to go there?" So
Mm, mm.
I sent her some videos, and then maybe within about an hour or two, she was like, "Damn, I didn't." And
Yeah.
and now, like, we watch videos with, well, not now, not with our kids now, but like a year or so ago when all this first started, I would show my kids pictures of over there. They in awe. They like,
Mm.
really? And I'm not talking about just the safaris. I'm talking about like the houses and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
buildings, the malls. Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
you get even beautiful houses out in the outskirts, in the rurals as well.
Yes.
There, it's quite beautiful. It's not as they make it out to be. Okay, can we do better? Yes, of course. There's here and there that we can improve on, but I think the quality of life here and the standard of living, it's okay. It's good
All right. I'm
actually.
glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because if I tell somebody what I'm going to say right now, nobody will believe me. I want you to describe the size of a mango.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So, depending where you are, so if you are a bit south of South Africa, and the soil there and the fertility of the soil is not that good, depending on what you're growing. So, if you're growing winter fruits, you might just want to grow them a bit southish. But your summer fruits, they flourish quite up in the north, so in your northern region of South Africa, and you can get a strawberry the size of my hand, like this.
A who?
A strawberry.
A strawberry the size of your hand.
Yeah. You can get a mango or an avocado the size of my head.
How about a watermelon? How about a watermelon?
Oh, watermelon, this big man.
Carrying it like a
Maybe
baby.
maybe half my height. Half my height. I'm 1.8 meters, so it could be maybe
You're
from
1.8 meters, so
my
you're about
waist.
6 foot. You're about 6'1".
So maybe from my waist to my head. Like, then you carry it like this.
Gee whiz. Gee whiz.
So yeah. I think we do have some quite good agricultural conditions.
John said, is that organic?
Of course, it's organic.
Hey John,
I, I
I spoke to him a couple of days about this, and he actually showed me. I don't remember the fruit you showed me. You showed me. Was it a
what
how
is a
big?
pomegranate or a mango?
How big is a sweet potato?
Oh no, so sweet potatoes can grow up until that big. But okay, this is my head, about that big. Yeah,
Gee whiz.
sweet
Gee
potatoes.
whiz.
You know.
Huh,
So
huh.
we have a pomegranates also, they grow quite big as well.
Yeah, a pomegranate typically is the size of an apple.
The size of an apple.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just hold on one second. Hold on one
Oh
second.
shit. You're getting to see the size of a pomegranate. Oh my god.
So something like this.
What's that? That's a pomegranate. Damn, that's a big pomegranate. Gee whiz.
Like that size. Can you see
Wow.
it?
That's big. That's big.
Can you see? Yeah, that's a pomegranate that grows actually in our yard.
Wow. It grows in your yard?
Yeah. It
What
grows
else?
it
What
grows
else?
in our
What
yard.
else? What else grows in your yard?
We have sugarcane, and
Did you
we have
plan it?
a no, we actually didn't plant it. It just grew here.
So you're
So
saying you can just buy some property and next thing you know you'll have a pomegranate tree in the backyard.
yes, yes, true. uh, and we also have a evo tree. We also have a mango tree as well.
How big the
Um,
mangoes?
I think I was here because we're more on the eastern side. They're not that big. They're not that big. They could be grow up to quite that size.
Bigger than the pomegranate?
Yeah, yeah, a bit bigger than the pomegranate. Yes, quite a bit bigger. But then if you go a bit north, then you start getting them bigger,
Even bigger.
even bigger. Yes.
Wow.
So yeah. So you do get lemons, oranges just growing randomly in people's houses,
How about bananas?
people's yards. Okay. Well, bananas, you'll find them mostly up north, unless if you plant it yourself in your house. So a bit up north, you'll find bananas. They also grow randomly as well. If you go into the northern province of or northern part of South Africa, and okay, they also grow moderate or also quite big as well.
Okay.
Quite big too.
Okay. Okay. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't
So
wait.
in terms of agriculture, this side, yeah, I think it's quite a good area to be in. Um, you get quite a lot of stuff. There's there's another thing that one person might ask that, look, Africa is so rich in resources, but it seems like most of the resources are not quite owned by Africans and by its people. Is if you compare it to like your UAE, where the whole country's economy is actually laying on oil, and but it seems to be working for them, and you know and they benefit from that as well. And we have to remember that a lot of colonialism affected Africa, and the reason for that is that people from Europe come through, we welcome them, um, whether to visit or just passing by, and the next thing you know, soldiers come through, you know.
Mm.
So, so I think what they used to do is they'd send a church or a priest, um, to tell people that your God is wrong. You need to change. You need to repent. And we shake hands. We're like friends. Then we promise to visit each other. We're like, next time when we come here, we'll take you to Europe with us. Don't worry. The next
Mm.
ship that comes is full of soldiers, and
Okay.
now driving you from your homelands and actually taking the resources that come with. Look, there isn't a resource that white people discovered that say they discovered in Africa that Africans didn't know about already. Gold, diamond. I mean, Africans, we wore gold. You understand what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Gold is something that we were wearing. Silver is something that we were wearing. Copper is something that we were wearing. Diamonds, precious stones. It's something that we wore.
Yeah.
It's something that represents royalty. It's something that represents your even some golds were dedicated to ancestors as well. Uh, so we knew all about that. It's not that we had all these resources and we didn't know anything about it or we underutilized them. It's not that we were eating branches. We were not eating meat or veggies or whatever or spices. We were doing that, and because now the Europeans that first came to Africa are actually the Europeans that uh, could not survive in their own countries. They were either thugs or outcasts or people that even their countries didn't want. Or they felt that I need a breather, I need somewhere new to live.
Mm.
They couldn't survive in their own countries, then they came to Africa, and here they found that life was very easy, and life was very, you know, life was very natural. Like you didn't have to do much to survive in Africa.
Got you.
Um, and then from there, that's when it came through. So colonialism, of course, affected us, affected Africa as well, because it's centered around resources.
Okay.
And which during that colonialism, a lot of the land was owned by. Remember, there were actual laws that prevented white black people from owning any
Owning
land.
land. Yeah.
In apartheid land acts, and with the resources as well. And when we handed over, when we went to democracy, uh, the land and a lot of resources were still in white people's hands, and also the skill to harvest those resources. Black people were not allowed to have that skill. Things were technologically advancing. We processed gold, now is processed way differently than what it was in the 50s and the 60s. So that skill was also reserved for the white people as well. So
Okay.
it also take a long time for black people to get with the program as how things are done now, resources. And remember, also we also have this thing of, if black people take over their land and start processing the resources, we get sanctions. So the very same product that you sell, if now you tell a European country that, oh, now this product is no longer owned by a white person, it's owned by a black person, then suddenly sanctions come through, and you're sitting with this product you can't sell. It's
Okay.
it's it's the same thing that happened in Zimbabwe, when Robert Mugabe actually repossessed or expropriated the land for black people, and almost all Zimbabwean products, from their tobacco, maize, everything was uh, was banned. There were sanctions, and they couldn't sell anymore, and the economy just plummeted down. And another thing that's also in Africa is corrupt leaders as well.
I was just going to ask that, but hold on before you go there.
Okay,
We got a few questions.
okay.
You can go ahead and do. Do they sell seedless oranges, seedless watermelon, seedless grapes in South Africa? That question's from John.
Okay, I've seen seedless grapes, seedless watermelons. No, I have never seen here in South Africa. Seedless grapes, yes. Seedless oranges, yes, I've seen also
I've
as well.
never seen a seedless orange.
Watermelons, nah.
I've seen seedless watermelons, but not seedless oranges. Seedless grapes, yes.
We do have here, but even though I think it's been quite a while since I've seen one, but yeah. But seedless watermelons, never. I don't think we have that here. I've never seen a seedless. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Quail Trees by Chris has a really good question. He says, whenever I hear of us moving to Africa, why is the destination almost always South Africa? Is it because of the economy in South Africa flourishing more than other regions in Africa? Class of 93. Me too, Chris, class of 93. You want that one or you want me to get that one?
I think you can go ahead and take that one, and I'll just comment also. Put in the
Okay.
comments as well.
Well, I'm going to tell you the reason why we're moving there to South Africa instead of any other place. Well, my wife is in the kind of job that my wife going to have. We need a stable internet. At first, it was going to be Ghana, and Ghana be having low shreds, random low shreds. So internet could be going at any given time. So then we kept doing more research, and then come to find out, South Africa was probably like the most, I don't want to say Western, but just the most established, to where we was just like in Houston or just like in San Antonio or New York or LA or wherever. Anything you want in South Africa, anything you want in general, you can find it in South Africa for the most part. So economy, yes. the flourishing part. Most Americans, most Americans. My wife said modern. Most Americans work online in Africa in general. So the one thing you need is a strong internet. And when we was there, we had no issues with internet. We had absolutely zero issues, you know. So that's my answer. Is the economy good? Yeah, hell yeah, the economy's good. The weather's great, the economy's good, everything is good. Evidently, Chris, you haven't visited. You need to visit, brother. You need to visit, man, because it'll change your life. It'll change how you look at everything, man. The continent is beautiful. South Africa is beautiful. The people are beautiful. The weather's beautiful. The food is beautiful. You can just meet a random dude to walk up to you and just say, America's racist. Like this dude here did to me. You can just meet a person and the next thing you know, you got a friend for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
hey, man, it's beautiful there. Take a trip, man. Trust me, it'll change the way you look at everything, man. I hope that answered your question. If not, Lumi, you can go ahead and elaborate a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, look, I also think that not just with the economy as well that's flourishing in South Africa, because look, there are other African countries like Rwanda whose economy is flourishing more than South Africa, but you don't hear Rwanda all the time, you know. The other reason I think it's due to how diverse South Africa is. I think in terms of South Africa's diversity, you know, on average, or as compared to other African countries, I think we are one of the top diverse countries in in Africa. I mean, not only do we have a significant amount of white people that living amongst us, we also have a diverse diverse cultures as well amongst black people. So you have 9 different kinds of cultures in South Africa. You know, you have your Nguni speaking people, and you have your Tswana speaking people, and Spedi Sotho speaking people. So even amongst black people, there's a whole lot of diversity amongst us. Remember, South Africa has 11 official languages,
How
and
many you know?
I can speak 10. 10 of the official languages.
Wow.
The only one that I can't speak actually is Shivenda. It's a bit more up north. It's quite it's quite difficult to
So you can speak all
learn.
and understand all?
All understand and understand them, yes.
So you
Read and
fluent.
write.
You fluent.
Yeah, I'm fluent in them, yes.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
So
John asked
so I,
another question too.
so I mean, look, I mean, every normal South African speaks at least 5-6 languages in South Africa.
Wow.
Every South African.
That's impressive.
So besides the diversity as well, remember, yeah, there's diversity amongst black people. We also have the highest amount of Indians, uh, Indians outside India. So if you go anywhere else in the world and you look at the population of Indians that's living outside India, South Africa has the highest population of Indians living outside India.
Okay.
So you understand, we do have a, because of that diversity as well, it makes South Africa much more attractive than other countries that are not so diverse as well. Because with diversity comes a bit more liberal approach to society. Extremism is minimal, you know. Unlike if you go to other African countries where homosexuals are put to jail. We do get countries like that, you know. Um, so, and that comes from because there's not so much diversity amongst the people that live there. So, you know,
Okay.
if you put a rule that we don't like gay people here, you know, it seems like an okay rule. if there's not much gay people in your country. You know what I mean? But because here we are diverse, things like homosexuals are quite accommodated as well, even in the constitution and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just so that we can keep that diversity as well. So, amongst other things, I think besides the economy, also South Africa is very diverse as well.
Okay.
So you probably fit in some way.
Somewhere.
Yeah, some way.
Hey, Lumi, we have this guy here. Of course, I don't want to chop his name up, so I'm gonna leave that one there up to you.
Imanati Mlunguzi.
Who?
Imanati Mlunguzi.
Imanati Lumos?
Mlunguzi.
Lumus. All
Mlunguzi.
right, all
Yes.
right. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
We love you too. Hopefully one day to meet you. If you're in South
That's,
Africa, we'll be there in December. We got a lot of comments here, man. Let's get some of these comments before we move on.
that's a nice name, Imanati. It
Yeah.
means stand with us.
You even know the meanings of names too?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Look, our names have meanings, really. There's
Okay.
yeah.
My wife, she's not here today. She got to handle some business, but she'll be here the next time, or maybe she might be here before this podcast is over. But she's saying that the weather is great in South Africa. That was another reason. She also said we have people there. John Mooney said thank you. Okay, so Chris. What it says, we've been waiting to visit and hearing the points from you and Ariel and our brothers and sisters that reside there has really made me think about taking the next step to visit sooner than later. Well, Chris, we haven't moved yet. We're waiting for our kids to graduate, and they graduate in what's that, 3 months, and we plan on moving in mid-December, like right when summer starts, right before Christmas. You know, so we can see, yo, what's those pretty purple flowers? What do they call?
Jacaranda.
It's pretty, a pretty purple color.
Yeah.
I want to be there for all of that. Chris got another one here. What does he said? This hometown, by the way, Stacy, Chris Reed. Oh, that's my brother, Chris. Okay, Chris. Okay, Chris, we'll talk later, man. Chris Trees, this is why we do this. Okay. We got one more. Tanika. Oh, here go Tanika. We got two more. No.
Okay.
Oh my God. This is her. We have been forced. Okay, so this, I'm assuming she's talking about the way we're programmed because of media, because of school. She says, so we have been force fed. The whole of Africa is nothing but a big jungle with a white dude swinging from vine to vine, yet still all these other countries were lush, beautiful, and thriving.
Exactly. And I think Tinika, that's what I think this podcast is all about. Just changing the narrative, because
yes,
look, I mean, I know I've met a lot of people that came from overseas, and all of them are perplexed. They're surprised that South Africa actually looks like this, or Africa looks like this.
yeah.
So my first question is, what did you expect? I always ask them that question, like, did you expect that?
Yes.
You'd be there'll be a pride of lions waiting for you at the airport as soon as you get off.
Yes, that's how we was programmed. That's how, I mean, up until maybe 20 years ago or so, that's how we was programmed, you know, that the jungle, you know, we had no idea that you guys have great infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Great restaurants, you know, great people, great hospitality, great I can't just great in general, period. I don't know what else to say besides just great.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, me and my wife was there the first trip for I think like 22 days, 23 days. We loved it. And every time we travel every so often, and every time we travel, after about 2 or 3 days, we're ready to go back home. You know, whether it was a cruise or going to, you know, California, whatever, Within about 2 or 3 days, like, yo, I just want to go home. We did not want to leave South Africa.
Yeah.
We didn't want to leave. And then when we went back in December, it was just more the same. Yo,
Yeah.
why are we running this race in the United
Mm-hmm.
States? Just getting up, going to work 5 days a week, off 2 days, repeat that same bullshit every week. Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
You
I hear
know,
you. I hear you,
my
brother.
cousin Wayne is a little bit older than me, and he told me, he said if he known what he know now, he would have been in South Africa 30 years ago.
Oh, that's nice. It's nice.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel the same way. I'm not gonna say 30 years ago, but at least 10.
At least
At
10.
least, you know what
You
I'm
could have
saying?
been here quite a while ago,
Quite
right?
a while ago.
Uh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I have
So
one
it's
question for you.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
have one last question. I mean, I want to talk about some other stuff, but I want to wait. You know, I actually wanted to talk about, just let you know, but I'm gonna wait for this. I
Okay.
wanted to talk about I don't even have it wrote down. I wanted to talk about Nelson. I wanted to talk about Winnie, Hector
Okay.
Peterson, Aparthied.
Okay.
But I want to wait. I want to wait for that. I want to wait for
All
that.
right.
But what I do want to ask you is this: how do you feel about Uncle Cyril?
Uh,
For the people
okay.
who don't know, we call him.
So
I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's the president of South Africa, and his name is Cyril How you pronounce his last name?
Ramaphosa.
Ramaphosa. Cyril Ramaphosa. The
Yeah.
Americans over there call him Uncle Cyril. You know, that's what we call him, Uncle Cyril. So when Cyril speaks, everybody listens like the uncle, like all our uncles. So we call him Uncle Cyril. So how do you
Yeah.
feel about Uncle Cyril?
Um. Look. I think
Uncut. Give me the
our.
truth. Uncut.
Oh, okay. Okay. Look. I mean. I think s- our president, our current president, he he's a good businessman, uh, but not a good president. And for two reasons. For two reasons is um, for a country like South Africa that's not so long ago uh, that we've gained our independency and democracy as well. You need someone that understands where we come from and that actually actively participated in in that era. Maybe later on, 40, 50 years later, then we want someone who just has knowledge of that. But for now, we actually want presidents that understands fully what was happening then and what's happening now. Um, Cyril was actually groomed by 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 white capitalists,
By who?
white capitalist families.
White capitalistic families?
Yes, yes, like
Okay.
your Oppenheimer family, and yeah, especially your Oppenheimer family. So during the struggle, he was sent to school by these families that funded his education to go and study in England, in Oxford, public relations. I can't remember what his qualifications are. And then he came back, and when he came back, he started a miners union, and he was a shop steward for the miners union. And so he wasn't really active in the politics directly as such, but he was on the mining union, on the mining union sector. And then come 1993 elections, 1994, 1993 elections. So what happened is the ANC has to choose its delegates that's going to stand for president uh, and for deputy president.
For the people who
So
don't know, let them know what ANC is. American.
it's the African National Congress.
Okay.
It's the ruling party that has been ruling since 1994. Um, so so before the main elections, of course, the ANC had to elect their presidential candidate for the national elections. So when Mandela was chosen as the first president, and Mandela suggested that Cyril Ramaphosa become his deputy president. And he was also part of the team that was negotiating the handovers, which is from the economy, from infrastructures, governance, all the departments and stuff. So, and then shortly after that, when he didn't get the position of deputy president, he left. He left politics to start business. So this is a person which in 1993 was getting a salary, an active salary of about 2,500. I think 2,500 back then was probably maybe $400 a month. Yeah, I think in 1993 the dollar rand ratio was let me just say $400 a month. In 1993 and in 1995, this guy is a millionaire.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Same topic, but I'm gonna still want you to continue though. Since you've been there all your life, what's the most have you ever seen the rand?
What's the most what?
Have you ever seen the rand? The most amount for rand.
Can you repeat that question again? I didn't quite get you.
The dollar, the rand, RAN.
Oh, yes,
What's
yes.
the most? Have you ever seen it?
Oh, the dollar to the rand.
Yeah.
The most that I've seen, I think, was 17, 18.
Okay.
The most that I've seen. And I think this was back in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah. Just after the global financial crisis. It was around about there when the dollar was actually touching the 18 rand mark.
18. So just for people who don't know, for every one US dollar, I think right now the rand is like maybe 15 and some change. So just as we want to say it's 15. So if you have, just using easy numbers, if you have $100,000 in the bank, you're a millionaire in South Africa. You're a millionaire.
Yes. Yeah. You're a millionaire. You're a millionaire, and with that $100,000, you can buy a nice house.
You're
nice
you're in
car.
this you're in the top 7 percentile.
Yes,
I think of the continent, not just South Africa. I think in the continent, you're in the top 7 percentile.
Yes, true.
And I've posted some pictures of houses and other stuff. You can get a nice house for $200,000. Gee, damn it, you can get a really nice house for $200,000. But anyway, get back to your story, man.
Yeah. No, actually, you can get a mansion for $200,000.
You can get a what?
You can get a mansion for $200,000. You can get a very big house.
Hey, Ray, we're gonna have to hook up with his realtor. For 200, I would love a mansion.
Yeah, you get a nice house. Okay, so anyway, so I mean, a person that was getting a salary in 1993 and is a millionaire in 1995. A millionaire meaning he's owning a top company. He's sitting as a non-executive director on some other companies. He's involved in mining as well. So there was a whole something had to give. I mean, someone somewhere gave Uncle Cyril something. And then suddenly Uncle Cyril came back into politics not so long ago. So this was when Jacob Zuma was there.
And tell everybody, Jacob Zuma was the leader of the Zulu tribe, right?
No. He was not the leader of the Zulu tribe, but he is part of the Zulu royal council.
Okay.
Family.
So what's his title?
Yeah, no, he was President Jacob Zuma. So as in the Zulu Council, I'm not quite sure what his role was, but the king of the Zulus at that time was Goodwill Zwelithini.
Okay, okay.
That was the chief of the Zulus, or the king of the Zulus. Um, so Jacob Zuma had a communist type of approach to running a country. So he always looked out for black people. He pushed up the employment quota in management for companies, that you need to hire more black people, and I'm serious about this. Um, he always made sure that the government tenders were given preferentially, or if I could say preferentially, to black people, or more of them were allocated to black people. He actually, before he stepped down, he signed a bill for free education, tertiary education. You know, he the HIV AIDS infection rate actually reduced remarkably in South Africa. The service deliveries in South Africa were actually quite better. You know, so what the media does that is that they kind of focused or emphasized more on the corruption that was happening around him. Um, in government or any politicians, there will always be corruption. There'll always be politicians that take money for themselves here and there, but they're always focused on the wrongs that was happening in his governance, not the rights. And they always wanted Cyril to uh, to to be now president, because now Cyril has a capitalist mindset. And when you have a president that has a capitalist mindset, and the capital is laying with the white people, most of the capital is laying with the white people. Guess who's gonna flourish now? It's not black people. It's
Not
gonna be
black.
white people.
Yeah.
No,
So do me a favor, man. Explain. I mean, I think I know already. What happened to you said Zuma? That's how you pronounce his name?
yeah, Jacob Zuma.
I think but isn't that the guy that they wanted him to step down and these what happened with him?
So Jacob Zuma, at first they tried the impeachment route, and this was shortly after South Africa actually joined the BRICS group. So the BRICS group is made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. This is a trade agreement. Um, so these countries agree that whatever we trade on, uh, the trade charges will be less when we trade amongst each other, as compared to when you trade with other countries of the same with the same product. So they tried impeachment, it failed, and then there was this whole lobbying amongst people. There were protests. It was the first time in our country where white people were protesting on the streets, saying this president must go, which is Jacob Zuma, right? They were saying the government is corrupt. They were saying Jacob Zuma used government funds or taxpayers' funds to upgrade his home, which his home was upgraded, but the reasoning was it was due to security reasons. And yeah, so they focused on those things, that the wrong things that were happening around Zuma's governance. And Zuma said, you know what, I will just do you a favor. I will step down
But
myself.
before all of that, but before all of that, wasn't it like chaos?
Look, it wasn't chaos at all. It was what white people would say it's chaos. But whether it was chaos, it wasn't.
Oh, somebody's to my door. It must be like the emergency people or something like that. Emergency
Okay.
support or something like that. I don't know.
Do you want to get them?
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Whether there was chaos or not, I don't think there was chaos at all. If there was chaos, why didn't we see that chaos in the when we hosted the 2010 World Cup, which was under Jacob Zuma?
So there wasn't people in the streets just doing the most.
No, look, I mean, there wasn't. I mean, the only people that were on the street were students that were asking for free education or
Okay.
asking for cheaper fees. That's the only big thing that happened in South Africa. You know, so the media here also in South Africa, remember, is also owned by white people and by white companies as well. So they will show you what they want to show you, and this is what we hear every day. Like, South Africa is collapsing, we're on the brink of falling down, and they've been saying that shit for the past, 20 years.
Okay.
And here we are, we're still standing. So every day we hear about a South Africa that's at the brink of being liquidated. Every day. but
Okay.
but still here we are, nothing's happening.
Okay.
So were things not good? Yes, there were mistakes here and there. Was it that
Okay.
bad? No, it wasn't that bad.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It
Well,
wasn't at all.
we only got one. We only have one question. Well, actually, it looks like it's a statement from what's
Okay.
the guy name again?
Imanati.
Yeah, saying
Yeah.
Africa is big, very beautiful. White people from America and Europe are coming here and keep black people in America. I'm glad my people, black, are starting to come back home. And
Okay.
yes, and we actually, like I said, that's what this podcast is about, letting our people know that the place is beautiful, the continent is beautiful, the people are beautiful. We're welcome. We're welcome there. You know, I've had conversation with just random people, and
Mm,
this one lady, I was at KFC, and she just started talking to me. You know,
mm,
I guess because they know they see I'm tall,
yeah,
and
yeah. Yes, yes. I'm sure.
the way I'm dressed.
Yeah, yeah.
So she just had a random just started talking, and one conversation led to another, and I want to. She said, I want to move. I want to visit America, and maybe one day move. I'm like, I don't know, but you gotta do what you gotta do for you. But
Yeah.
I'm moving here, and and I'm
Yeah,
moving here for a reason.
yeah, yeah,
To get away from America.
yeah.
You know, to get away.
Yeah.
So, but listen, I don't have any more questions. But I know
Okay.
you wanted to talk
Yes.
about. So I'm gonna leave this one up to you. You wanted to talk about Ukraine and Russia.
Oh yes. Before I talk about Ukraine and Russia, I actually have a question about the Black Lives Matter movement.
See, I wish my wife was here for that one. You need to be here. My wife needs to be here for that one.
Yeah, because look, I think in the media, I kind of get why the movement started because of the police shooting down and brutally killing innocent people, and specifically black people, and uh, and that's
Hold
what
on one
black people
second.
said
I
enough.
think I might get that question answered for you. Ariel, come here. I mean, Ariana, come here. I'm gonna call my daughter
Okay, okay,
and stand right here. Listen to the question. Go ahead. My daughter
okay.
Ariel, my daughter Ariana is right here. I'm not
Hey,
gonna
how
put
are
her
you doing? How are you doing,
right.
sister?
Go ahead and say what you got to say. I'm pretty sure she'll have
Okay.
a good answer for you.
Okay, so I was saying, I was asking about the Black Lives Matter movement, and I kind of understand that it started from how the police were brutally or killing innocent black people. Or you can say suspects. Let's just put it that way.
No,
Suspects or
let's
innocent,
stay with black people. Let's stay with black people. But continue
let's say
on.
black people, and that's where it started. And but there's like a point where when black movement was going on, because remember, it also started spreading into the sports, um and where sporting codes were starting to show support, and then in that period, the media started making Black Lives Matter seem like a politically motivated movement. So it started to lose its meaning, and the way it comes to us as if, Black Lives Matter movement, it's just a it's just a bunch of black people in America just seeking attention. There's even some media that's have tried to say that it's not as bad as they say it is. You know, it's just a couple of black people that were killed here and there. So they're just trying to seek attention and whatever. Okay, because I'm black, I know how the media can actually belittle a black movement. So I just want to ask, just want to get your view on that. As tell me more about the Black Lives Matter movement and you know how it started and what it stands for. What is its core essential meaning?
Okay, y'all. My daughter gonna answer. You gonna answer this? My
Okay,
daughter's gonna answer this, y'all. My daughter's
right.
18 years old.
Oh, okay, okay.
She's gonna answer
It's
this
quite
question for
interesting.
y'all. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm listening.
Well, the core meaning of the Black Lives Matter movement is exactly what it means.
Can you hear her?
I can hear clearly. Yes.
Go ahead.
Just to show just the general white population and people who do not, whether they believe it or not, think that Black Lives Matter, that we in fact do. Some people try and make it seem like, oh, you're saying only Black Lives Matter, but that's not what that means. It's very simply Black Lives Matter. Even you can add also at the end, because we're being shown that they don't throughout so many instances. And it's not even just like, oh, a couple of people were killed by the police. These people were being resistant by the police. We've been being murdered by police forces since their creation. And now we just have cameras and things where we're showing it on just how much of a large scale that it is. And even though it centers around police brutality, it also expands out to so many different things of proving that in so many areas, Black lives do in fact matter. Where even in sports that you brought up, Black people are capital. Like they're not just someone, they're not a player the same way that white people are. And in all aspects, we need to prove and put our foot down that Black lives do in fact matter. And that's simply what it means. It's not a political Democrat Republican movement. It's a Black people exist and need to be treated as human beings thing.
Wow, just like that. She's 18. You sure?
I'm not sure. You have any more questions?
she she's she sounds way older.
No, man.
She sounds like she's experienced this whole thing. Okay. No, I get you. I get
You
you.
have anything else for her?
I fully understand because I was gonna ask that how do you now answer someone that says, "Oh, but all lives matter," you know? Because that's the first comment that you get when you start talking about Black Lives Matter. Someone says, "No, all lives matter."
Well, All Lives Matter is a protest to our protest. That's just what it is. Because
Okay.
if all lives truly matter, you wouldn't be upset with me specifying that Black Lives Matter. Because if all lives truly mattered, why are you saying it in rebuttal to me saying the exact same thing that you are?
Okay. All right. Okay. No, I get you. I get you. I understand. I understand. And I think when we talk about this Black Lives Matter movement, it's also gonna lead me to the whole Ukraine and Russia war, you know, and quite recently, the South African government was asked to give a vote on whether they stand with Ukraine or not. So the South Africa decided not to vote at all, and not voting is a sign of not standing in solidarity um, with Ukraine. So in other words, it means that it's either we're saying we're not getting involved in this, or we're saying we're standing with Russia, because remember Russia is also our trading partners as well, the South Africa, and not so long after the Black Lives Matter movement, it seems like there's also a movement that's coming in from the white people for uh, for to recruit all people to stand with Ukrainians of what's happening with the people in Ukraine. Look, I'm not I don't like wars, and I don't promote wars. I don't think war is a solution. You know, there are much more peaceful ways to resolve a conflict, right? But it seems like there's also some form of discrimination in this war when you look at it, especially from reporting in the media. Keeping in mind with the Black Lives Matter movement, the reports that are happening now, especially I think it's Al Jazeera and some on CNN, there's comments like, "Look, this is Ukraine. Um, this is Ukraine. This is not North Africa or Middle East or Afghanistan, where where there's war, where war is normal day at the office. This is Ukraine. These are civilized people. These people are nice people. This is working middle class. So it seems like they're saying war. Ukraine does not deserve war. The people that deserve war, where war is okay, is Africa and Middle East. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So they're giving us a feeling of Ukrainians' lives matter now, and we should stand in solidarity with what is happening, uh, um, what is happening with the Ukrainian people. But when we look back at the Black Lives Matter movement, it was getting resistance from even South African sporting codes. Like, yeah, why are we mixing political movements with sports? Sports has got nothing to do with politics. But when the Russian teams get banned from FIFA, from sports, from sporting codes, no one says anything. You know, when
Yeah.
Israel and yeah, when Israel was being boycotted, people were saying, no, no, no. The beauty pageants the Miss Universe pageant has to go on. We've got nothing to do with the politics that's happening in that country. But now suddenly, because now this thing is happening to white people, now all the sporting codes have to be affected. They're asking to take a knee for Ukraine. They're asking moment of silences for Ukraine and to observe what's happening to the Ukrainian people. But when it's happening on the other side with black people, people are just distancing themselves from it. And it's also funny how now suddenly white people are distancing themselves from Russians as white people. Now
Right.
they're like,
Right.
I'm a white person, but I'm not with that white person. But they're standing with Ukrainians who are also technically Russian as well, you know. So um, so this is my feeling on this. I think that there is some sort of discrimination in this war and how we should support it. It's the media uh, is trying to dictate who we should like and who we should dislike. I've also seen where trains that are leaving Ukraine going to Poland, where they push black people out and putting Ukrainians preferably on trains that are going there.
Yeah.
And black people are being pushed aside. They're like, no, 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 you come
You
later.
second. You come later.
You know?
I think everybody's seen that video. But
So
let's get to the, Ariel, which everybody, that's my wife.
okay,
She said corporate. She said corporations say we support BLM, but still they still have all white boards of directors and underpayment their black employees, underpay their black employees. The movement is real and genuine, but it has been used as a tool. Uh,
okay, I agree with that. Okay,
I think that's the only one. But y'all, listen, this interview has been almost 2 hours. I have a question for you guys. There's only 7 people online. Please, 7 like, share, and subscribe. But I have a question for you guys. I want to ask Lumi how we feel about Nelson Mandela. But like I said, this is almost 2 hours long. So if I can get 3 thumbs up, we can go this for another maybe 15, 20 minutes and ask him how he feels about Nelson Mandela. Can I get 3 thumbs up for that? But let's see if we can get 3, man.
okay, okay.
This guy right here, I don't know what that means. VRU life. You know what that means?
I have no idea what that means.
Can if you're still here, how you pronounce his name? Do you know that?
Which guy?
This guy right here. Shit, we got John did three by himself.
Is it F U not F fucks?
No,
What is that?
I have no idea. John, I got you, John. I don't know. I don't know. But listen, John gave us. This is what John did. I said give us three thumbs. This is what John did. He
Go
did it.
give us three. Okay.
John did it three times. John did it three different times. Hey,
Is
Lumi,
that sufficient? Yeah, yeah.
Lumi,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
uncut,
Listen.
uncut.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Nelson Mandela? Not winning, nothing else, just Nelson Mandela.
Okay. Firstly, I'll say that the Nelson Mandela that went into prison and the Nelson Mandela that came out of prison were two different people. So the Mandela that went into prison was more of a communist, and the Mandela that came out was more of a capitalist. And the Mandela that came out, I think, was also approached by the apartheid government that said, "Look, we want you to be president. You know, we are going to negotiations because remember the conversation of having a democracy or a vote was actually talked about in the mid 80s already. So I think that they approached Mandela as much as they took him out of Robben Island and put him on a house arrest where only the government officials had access to him and no one else. So he wasn't around other prisoners. So other prisoners, when you're in prison and you see now the government visiting one prisoner, of course you start to ask questions like, what are they saying to this guy? What do they want? But now he was secluded from other prisoners, so they couldn't see what was going on. No one knew what the conversations were. And also part of the negotiation, also handover requirements, that the apartheid government said that we will let you vote as long as you make Nelson Mandela your president. Yeah, that's actually part of the conditions, part of the requirements. And another thing you have to ask yourself is how do people on the street chant for Nelson Mandela if some of them have never even met him or seen him? This guy's in prison. It's not like he has a broadcasting prison where he talks to people. Some people have never seen Mandela, but they're chanting Mandela's name that they want him to be released to be the president. It's because that was the message that was sent across South Africa, that we have a president, but he's in prison, and we want to release him. Right?
Who was the president at the time?
The president at the time was F.W. de Klerk. So the president of the ANC at the time was O.R. Tambo. And after Mandela, there were people that said, oh, okay, Mandela can be president, but there were people that were saying, no, Mandela should not be president, but Chris Hani should be president. And then, unfortunately, Chris Hani was assassinated before the elections.
Chris Honey?
Chris Hani, yes. He was assassinated. And so Chris Hani, was very clear. He said, if he's going to be president, then he's going to expropriate all the land. And all the white people must just bring back all the shit they took. But with Mandela, the negotiations went differently. So the negotiations was like, he protected the interests of the white people, and all the black people could do was just vote and sit in the same restaurant as white people. So I think with his release, white people are celebrating more than us, because for them it was a peaceful handover. It was like nothing that they've never seen before. And look, I compliment him on that as a man, to have a peaceful discussion and have a peaceful handover into a new South Africa. And look, I have to give him that, But if we look at what his decision meant for black people, if we look at it today, I think it took us as black people a long time to realize that, because at the time when it happened, everyone was just celebrating freedom for the first couple of 6, 7, 8 years, and then after that, that's when people started realizing, but oh no, wait a minute, look, we are free, but nothing is happening for black people. We are poor, or there's a lot of our brothers that live in under the poverty line because of apartheid. But it's over. We are free. But there's 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 brothers and sisters still poor. How is it? Then they started going back and realized that, oh, actually the agreements that were made between Mandela and that government was that they can keep everything. So that's what I'm saying. White people didn't lose anything. So, but and black people gained virtually nothing from that Rainbow Nation promise. So I think in terms of getting us to a democratic South Africa, yes, cool. I give him for that. Getting black people where they should have been, nah, he didn't do anything for us. I think his presidency and his approach uh, to to a new South Africa actually had little with black people in mind. What he actually did, he actually also invited more white capitalists to come and invest in South Africa and own resources and all that. So he opened the door to South Africa. He didn't put black people first. So he put the very same white people first that released him from prison.
So Uncle Cyril and Mandela was handpicked. You saying, in your opinion,
Yes, yes, in my opinion, yes.
they was both handpicked by white folks.
By white folks. I think that's why Nelson Mandela wanted Uncle Cyril to be his deputy president, because him being his deputy president, Cyril would have been the president after Nelson Mandela.
More the same. More the
It,
same.
it, it, it was just extended the period. It was the same cloth, you know. I think the white folks wanted a president that they were comfortable with, a president that they knew would look after their interests, and a president where they won't be scared about losing their assets and their investments and all that. So Mandela was the right one, and Cyril is also the right one for them. That's why now white people are happy in South Africa because we have Uncle Cyril, even though the amount of corruption in Cyril's government is 10 times bigger than the corruption that we saw under Jacob Zuma. But Jacob Zuma is still being sung as the villain, and Cyril is still being sung as the hero, because Cyril is focused primarily on capitalism, and capitalism favors the white people in South Africa.
Well, what I can say is this: as far as Uncle Cyril, he's doing a damn good job as far as the COVID, trying to control COVID.
Yep.
You know, even here in the States, like some of you guys never been here before. So when you go into a store, it's a person's job to spray you down with hand sanitizer.
Yes.
So you come out the store, you just make a quick U-turn to go into the very next store. That person saw you get your hand sprayed. You got to get sprayed again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so I've even seen a situation to where we was in Rosebank, and
Okay. Yeah, in Rosebank, yeah.
we was in Rosebank, and this black couple was walking down the street without a mask on. The security guard chased them down and say, "Yo, put your damn mask on."
Oh, yes, yes,
And
yes.
the
Yeah,
guy
that's-
and the guy was like, "For what?" And the security guard said, "Bruh, I'm gonna take you to jail. You're going to put this
Yeah.
mask on. Oh, I'm gonna take
Or
you right
leave.
to jail."
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's all because of Uncle Cyril. You
Yes,
know,
yeah. Look, I mean, on the COVID story, I think South Africa was very tough on that. So Cyril also had a good team behind him, uh, the National Disaster Council, which was made by qualified people, doctors, and there were some researchers, professors. They did a whole lot of consultation. So how he took that, I really commend him for that, and and how we took COVID seriously in South Africa. Although there were big bucks spent around that, and there was a lot of procurement, corruption as well around that. But besides that, I mean, the COVID management was actually done quite well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did good with
but I
that.
mean, yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, COVID comes and goes. We're struggling with unemployment in South Africa, especially youth unemployment. We're struggling, and that youth unemployment it's not because there's no jobs. It's because there is jobs, but these jobs are reserved for white folks. You know, uh, in most of the private sector, and but then Uncle Cyril seems to be, relieving that quota that Jacob Zuma was trying to establish. That he should have more black people, and so these private companies seem to like be relaxed now. They don't see a need anymore to hire black people. And Uncle Cyril has been singing the same unemployment song. He's been saying that, oh, this year we're gonna make opportunities for jobs. The government will do this, the government will do that, but nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. You
Well,
can see things happening, yeah, but
I
but
read
it's,
I
it's
read a few days ago that and I'm pretty sure not even Americans, a lot of people were like he's trying to form a visa, a remote visa, like to keep people in the country so that can help make money for the country. Like a remote visa is like, if you work remotely, I'm gonna
okay.
give you a visa to work remotely to keep you on the continent longer so you can spend your money here and you can help the continent flourish.
Okay.
That's a pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, if that visa happens, that answers all me and my wife problems.
Yeah. Yes.
We
Yeah.
got we got we got everything else. We got everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That right there will
Yeah.
answer all our problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the people that's trying to move there, y'all need to look up this. I mean, I can post it in here, I guess. They got this thing called critical skills visas. You ever heard of that one?
Yes. Yes. I've heard of
You
that
know,
one. Yes.
it's probably about 30 to 40 different jobs.
Yeah.
And if you have that particular skill,
Mm.
you can get a visa.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
That one I've heard. Yeah.
so people that are thinking on moving and trying to figure out how you're gonna get your visa, look up the critical skills visa. If one of those skills are yours, you good.
Yeah. I
I
think
want
it's
to
also
roll.
skills like doctors.
Yeah,
Yes,
I wish I
very
should have.
this specialized doctors.
I should have
There's
printed
also
it out.
engineers as well. Yeah, engineers
Yes,
as well
yes, yes.
that they take as well. It's under the special
Yeah.
skill
I wish, like I said, I wish I
visa.
had printed it
Yeah,
out. I didn't know that we was going to talk about this, but
yeah,
I wish I had printed it out. But yeah, it's called a critical skills visas. You know, if you guys thinking about moving, like I said, just look it up online. Easy to find. You know, and also the ones that's thinking about visiting, you got to have a negative COVID test 72 hours before you travel, and then
that's
I
true.
think it's 24 hours before you go back to wherever you're going back to before you return home. That's just something to think about also. PCR, not just the
Yeah.
regular one rapid test you get back in 15, 30 minutes. PCR.
Just a question that the mandatory vaccination is it a thing that side
Um, no.
or no?
Yeah, they trying to
Okay.
they trying to make it a thing. I think to me personally, I think at some point it's going to be a mandatory thing. Uh,
At
some
some point, yes,
jobs,
yes.
some jobs it's mandatory to
For
travel.
some jobs, okay.
Yeah, to travel internationally.
Yes, yes, yes.
Most places you need PCR tests. I think to get back in the United States, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. I'm not even going to say it, but yeah, I think they're going to make it mandatory eventually because of the amount of people that you know, that are going now, and it's serious. It's serious, and I
Okay.
understand the people who don't want to take it. I mean, I don't want to take it. I understand, but it's a personal preference, and
Yeah,
I don't think anybody should look at anybody differently if they don't want to take it. Again, that's just my
true.
personal preference. That's your life, you know.
Yeah.
I
No,
took
here,
it. I took it back in April, so before we went to South Africa the first trip, I was supposed to take it again in December. I didn't,
okay.
you know.
Or was it the second shot?
Yeah. It was a booster. It was a booster.
Oh, the booster.
The
Okay.
booster. I never took it, and it's the dictators of the states. There's no countrywide policy. My wife just said,
Okay.
it is dictated at the state level. There is no countrywide policy.
Okay. At the state level means when you come into the country.
The governors, I guess.
Oh, governors.
The
Okay.
governors, yeah, the governors make the rules in each state. So I'm assuming that's what she's talking about. See, that's why she's missed, because she's the brains of the organization,
Oh, okay.
and she's the research guru.
Yes.
She was ready. She's probably gonna ask you some shit that was gonna surprise you, and she had to. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying
She
to tell you.
didn't. She didn't write it down somewhere. Ask it on your behalf. Oh, she can ask it now. Yeah.
Red. Did you write anything down so I can ask him to mess his head up right quick? But trust me, man. She was looking up stuff. All the names that you was telling me a couple days ago, the 4 names you told me about, I think she was looking those guys up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I told you about
the guy Honey and
Chris Honey, Steve Biko.
Yeah.
Oliver Tambo. Yeah.
She was ready. She was ready for you. I think you're lucky. You're lucky she's not here.
I dodged the bullet there. It's fine.
Right.
I'll get it next time.
I was just going to say, we're going to get you again. When she's there, you dodged this bullet today. You're going to be able to dodge all of them.
Yeah. So, tell me, ever since Trump stepped down, in America, and Joe Biden came on, is there a change? Because I know, there was a lot of people shouting, celebrating that yes, this is a new day, new dawn.
What happened was this. What happened was this, man. Most blacks, we just didn't want Trump anymore. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It could have been anybody that was running against Trump, and we probably would have voted for them because we just was tired of Trump's bullshit.
Okay.
All the stupid stuff he was saying, all the stupid stuff he was doing. We was just tired of him. So, like I said, anybody could have been running against him, and we probably
would have won. We would have won anyway.
we would have voted for him. You know what I'm saying? Is Biden doing a great job? Hell to the no. But guess what?
Really.
It's not a joke the way it was a joke when Trump was actually saying and doing the stupid stuff that he was doing. All the lying that he was doing. I mean, just outright lying.
Yeah.
Like the what's that thing that happened at what was it? When the white people invaded, when he just straight up lied.
Oh, when they invaded the that building, what's it called again?
I can't. I'm drinking now. I forgot what it's called.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
He lied actually.
Yeah, He said he didn't. Not excite. He didn't provoke it. Basically, yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
So when they
ride, yeah.
he did.
You see, my wife says she got you next time, right?
I can see. I can see. I got you next time. Okay. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. I'll try my best to.
Okay, this is what she said too. Check her out. She said, "Don't get it fooled. Biden has said racist things in the past, and his mentality capacity is in question. But at least he got an ounce of sense."
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, we all know he said some stuff in the past, but I'm talking like recently.
Okay.
Like that BS. He said, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me,
Yes. Yes. Yes, those,
get out of here, man. Get out of here. I can't change it.
yeah.
Anyway,
But at least he has some sense more than Trump. That
yeah. You have anything else, man?
Well, yeah, I had one thing. I just want to understand how in the United States, how black people actually fit in or participate in the U.S. economy, because I think all we see, or what I see only on TV, and this is mainly affected by the BET channel. The BET channel is that, no, what I see is that black people are participating mostly in the entertainment industry. If not entertainment industry, then it's the sports. Because you look at the NBA and the basketball, it's the starting lineup is black people.
Are you
You
talking
look at
about financially?
yes, in the U.S. economy, financial in the U.S. economy is. I can see that the entertainment industry, black people are doing it for themselves, and the production companies. I can see now Tyler Perry has opened his own studios and all that. So I think that the participation in that industry, he has some stakes in it. I can see in sports as well. Black people in America are starting to have participation and stakeholding in the sports and in the music industry. Are there other things, other industries that black people also actively participate in, or as stakeholders in America?
We're doing what we got to do, man.
Okay.
Our females, our ladies, our sisters, they are the smartest ones around. Don't get it twisted, man. I
Yeah.
personally believe. I said this probably like 10 years ago. Females probably should run stuff around here because all these old white guys and then the one black guy, it's been no real progress. So why not switch it up and give a female a chance? I said that a long time ago.
Mm, mm,
Our sisters are extremely smart, man, and I know that I really believe that they can probably make a difference.
mm.
Oh man, my lights went out. But
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. Hold on, let me come a light on.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully this is enough. Yeah, that's good.
Nah,
But
that's
yeah,
good. That's good, Jim. I mean,
our sisters. I think they're smart enough, and I know they can do it. I mean, I know for a fact my wife is probably like one of the smartest people I know, if not
mm,
the
mm,
smartest.
mm.
Um, and I'm not just saying it to say that. I mean, I tell her that all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, um, and I know other smart females. At the end of the day, it's just about giving the opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Because, like I said,
So,
but
so
yeah,
let's.
we doing what we got to do. I know plenty of
Right.
like brothers, truck drivers, making a lot of money. I know a lot of like you said, entertainers.
Mm, mm.
business owners, no matter, just we're figuring it out. We're figuring out a way to do what we got to do, because ain't nobody gonna stop us. They've been trying for years. It hasn't stopped yet. It hasn't worked yet, and it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. I can see now I think they're trying to drive black people to extinction. I think that's what on the minds of on the minds of white people.
What does that mean, John? You know what that means? Lumi?
Ke a leboha means thank you,
Okay.
and Boroko means good night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's John? John Mooney said he's in.
Who? No, he's in San Antonio. He's like 2 hours away from me.
Oh, okay. But he said his wife is from Botswana or something.
That's what you said? John, you said that?
I think somewhere in his comments he said
his wife was from Botswana? No, that was Wayne. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his fiance is from Botswana. You met her too that night.
Okay. Oh yes, I did.
You met her too.
Okay.
So, man, we can go in and wrap this up if you ain't got nothing else. If so, go ahead.
No, I think we can wrap this up. And but just on my closing comments, I think I like the way African Americans are actually very vocal on racist and discriminatory issues. And I think a lot of African countries could follow suit in those footsteps, and just tackle it head on and call it out, call out racism. And like to a large extent, a lot of racism conversation happens, in hushed tones, in corridors, behind people's backs. No one is actually actively saying it out loud. It's just a few people that actually do that. So, I think also that our African brothers, we can, learn a couple of things from our African American brothers as well, the way they're handling discrimination as well, and I think our voice will be heard, because here we are the majority.
Yes. One more thing I got to do that I should have did earlier. I'm sorry, Barbara. I see you calling me, but y'all listen. My family, Barbara, has a jewelry company, black-owned fashion jewelry and more, owned by a lady named Dr. Tracy Lynn. She's a CEO. My cousin is a jewelry agent. There's a variety of items starting at $5. The website is secure, and you can order by shopper. Secure, and orders can be placed. Oh shit, phone went off. Can be placed. Damn it. Can be placed by shoppers. Shoppers must create an account like other online shopping. So it's called Juries, not with a Y, JEWELZ. Juries and more. The company is owned by Dr. Tracy Lynn. She's a CEO, and she's a sister. And all the jewelry start at $5. So y'all check that website out. Juries is Juries, JEWELZ. See, Barbara, if you was in the comments, you could have reminded me a long time ago. Where's you at? And you still ain't in the comments. Hold on a second. My wife said something else, but we're getting to close, y'all. America wants everyone to think that all black people can be shuck and jive. We are creating a lane in every field. Black women are the most educated Americans, are owning their own businesses. Fact.
Facts. I like that.
John said, John, I'm assuming, what does that mean?
Nyabonga means thank you in isiZulu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will bonga tina John.
Oh, y'all talking. John, you hear that?
I'm saying it's a pleasure. Bonga tina.
Okay. Everybody remember, like, subscribe, and share. What you going to say, brother?
No. I think we have wrapped.
Until next time.
Until next time. Until next time, when we start. You said next time we're gonna start unpacking this whole apartheid thing.
Apartheid, Hector Peterson,
Okay, okay,
Desmond Tutu.
okay,
We're gonna really get into it.
okay. No, I
Really get into it.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready for sure.
You ready?
Yeah, I'll be
I
ready.
got something for you.
I can't wait. I can't
Hey
wait.
yo, thank you guys for tuning in. Change the Narrative Podcast. Like I said, like, subscribe, share. John, it was really nice, man. You take care of yourself. Everybody else too, take care of yourself. See you next time.
Yeah.
Chat later.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay.
Deuces.
Thank you for having me on your podcast, man.
Until next time.
Until next time. Cheers.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Later, y'all.
Yeah, bye.